Hello, everybody, the internet, and welcome back to the Featured Artist Interviews here with Radnaut Prince. I am joined by Nicole Powell. Thank you very much for coming along and hanging out with us, Nicole.
Hi, it's great to be here.
And it is lovely to have you. So we want to sit down and chat with her today about inspirations and things about her art and life and background, and we'll get right down to it. So thank you very much again for joining us, and we'll just jump right into the first question. What is your favorite color to create with?
So it kind of depends on what mood I'm in, but I always love anything metallic. Copper, favorite, very shiny, very pretty. Fun stuff. I've also surprised myself. I really love working with rose colors, and I never used to like pink.
Interesting.
But specifically quinacridone rose is like my favorite paint.
Ooh, I'm gonna find quinacridone rose. I'm gonna put it up here. Wait, here now.
It
so
is.
Everybody can see it.
It's a very pretty, like kind of rich looking darker pink, and it's just cool. Super pretty. And I love that color.
That's been your most recent, and do you feel like it's
been pretty
grown?
consistent that I like using that color?
Very cool.
Which is funny. In life, my actual favorite color is purple.
Well, purple and pink can go well together, but
they're kind of in the same family, but I don't necessarily like painting with purple a lot.
Oh, I guess I can understand that. It doesn't really come up in any of the things. It's always like a very tertiary color. You have like an accent of purple.
All that
yeah. And when it does, it's usually mixed with something else. Like it's purple, but it's going to bleed into blue or bleed into a different vibrant color. So that's pretty cool. I can't, kind of going off of that, but were you raised in Arizona?
I was not.
Okay. So I was also not. So I just wanted to know if that was maybe where the copper thing came from, because moving here, I was like, wow, copper. Everybody loves copper.
Copper's everywhere. Oh yeah. No, I was born in New Mexico, mostly raised in Indiana, and then came back here when I was 16 to Arizona. Okay. So
I was also born in New Mexico, but I was raised in New Mexico too. And then I came out here for school.
Yeah. No, I moved from New Mexico when I was like 3, so I don't really remember anything about it. But
that's pretty cool though. Hey, cool. New Mexico fans. All right, next question then. If you could live in any fictional world, where would you live, and how much do you think your rent would be?
My rent would be too much. I already know that. I guess if I had to pick, I would not mind living in the Harry Potter universe.
Okay.
As long as I could be a wizard.
Right. Who wants to be a muggle?
Nobody wants to be a muggle.
No, you won't even know that you're in a different world at that point.
Yeah, exactly. Or I wouldn't mind living in Lord of the Rings after all the Sauron business.
Ah, that's true. And then if you do live in Lord of the Rings, I don't know that they have rent. No, you just got to work for it.
You just got to, keep food on the table and you're all right.
Then you're good to go. I would visit you in those worlds.
Yeah, they're good worlds.
I would live in either of those worlds and for sure visit. Ooh, this is a good question. This is a question I want to know. Having looked through your Instagram, and I'm going to put up a few of the pictures here, what has been your favorite bug to draw or illustrate?
So bees are a favorite of mine.
Bees.
And there's so many different types of bees. I'm actually planning on doing a series of all the different types of bees.
Fun.
Because everybody knows bumblebees, everybody knows honeybees, but like there's blue mason bees, and they literally are like a metallic blue color.
Ooh, fun. Are they like the super, super dark blue?
Yeah, it's very dark. I think then there's various types of carpenter bees, and there's
Mhm.
ones that live here in Arizona. They're like this big,
Mhm.
huge,
Huge.
so big. But yeah, I want to do a series on that. And my other favorite is my praying mantis piece that I did.
I love that praying mantis piece. That has got to be one of my favorite things. I was staring at it for a long time. When I was looking through your art stuff, I was like, dudes, look at it. And I'm putting it up. It's right here, right now. It's awesome.
It was such a fun piece to do. And what's funny is right before I did it, and ever since then, I've been seeing praying mantises in like real life.
Praying mantis season. Oh, I love it.
And I was on a trip to Greece just last month.
Yeah.
And first time overseas, it was amazing. But while we were there, we were in a campgrounds by the beach, and twice, 2 days in a row, a tiny itty bitty baby praying mantis showed up.
Aww.
And he was so cute. And I got him to crawl my finger, and I have this awesome photo. And he's like half the size of my fingernail. He's so tiny.
Aww.
And it was so much fun.
I'll put that picture up here if you have it.
I'll send it to you.
Okay, I will put it here because I'm all about tiny little creatures.
Oh, he's so cute.
Especially if they're tiny little praying mantises and like.
Oh yeah, he was getting all aggressive. One of my friends pointed him out. He was on the chair, and he like turned and was like, "I'll fight you."
It's like, okay, be chill, my guy. We're all friends here.
You're so aggressive. It's so funny.
It is pretty funny. I enjoy the praying mantises. I guess a praying mantis got into my parents' house back in New Mexico, and they didn't see him, and he was like hiding, and then he passed because he wasn't outdoors, and also they only live for like a few months at most.
Yeah.
And then they saw him when he had already been dead for a while, but he was hanging out. And we're like, when did you get this? And they're like, no, he put himself there. He's installed himself, and now he just lives.
He's part of the decor here now.
Yeah, he's taxidermied.
Yeah.
Bug. Great.
Bugs. Love it when they
we love bugs. We hate to see them bring themselves inside and accidentally die, but
yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Bugs are great as long as they're not in my house.
Yes, happy about that. I love them outdoors. They don't need to be in here. This is not a place for them.
Exactly.
All right, what's the next question I have? Okay, when did you know that art or creating was your passion in life, was what you wanted to do?
So it's kind of a long story, but so it's basically a couple years ago, so not very long.
Very cool. Okay.
I've loved art and I've loved creative things for a long time. Like I was a theater geek. I drew all the time. I was in band, all that fun stuff. But I actually pursued science first.
Oh, right on. Okay.
And I actually have a degree in biochemistry.
That's cool. That's exciting.
Oh yeah, it's fun. But the industry and the jobs were not what I was hoping they would be. And I wasn't thrilled. And then I met an artist friend of mine named Miranda. And she was teaching private lessons. And I'm like, oh, well, I'll take lessons from you and that'll cheer me up and I'll feel better.
Aww.
And I did that for a while and it was really fun. And she was like, oh, you should take this program that I took called with the Milan Art Institute. This is not technically a plug, but also they're great.
I mean, I'll still put the link down. Milan Art Institute.
They're fantastic. And it's this really intensive 1-year program for people who want to be an artist. And I was like, well, I don't know if I want to be an artist, but I'm kind of at a loose end and I don't know what I want to do with my life. So I'll take it.
It's worth a shot.
It's worth a shot. I'm like, at worst, I'll be better at making art and I'll have to find something else to do. It's fine. And
it's not the end of the world.
Not the end of the world. About halfway through, I was like, you know what? I think I am an artist. I think I want to do this. And so it took 6 months to convince me that I was actually an artist. So now here I am making.
Here you are. That's pretty rad. Now, do you feel like this is a bonus question, but do you feel like your microbiology informs any of the subjects that you end up painting?
Definitely. One of the things I do when I'm looking for new material is I research. So I look up, like on YouTube, they have all these little channels that do, like, there's one called Deep Look that does just like a really fun, like, factoid or something about some little critter or an insect or an animal. And I'll watch those to kind of get some inspiration. I'll be like, hey, I wonder about these types of flowers, or are there flowers that have, what are the flowers that have the prosperity meaning to them or something?
Oh, that's very cool.
Start researching that, and that inspires the paintings.
Very neat. I love hearing about that sort of thing, because sometimes it's, you know what, yes, lovely, I like watching, or I like seeing art for art's sake, but it is also nice to know more about it. Like, I learned about how ladybugs are like predators of aphids, and so learning about that, and then that informs the way that you draw them now a little bit more ferocious than like, it's a cute little ladybug.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting.
They're angry little predators.
They're like, I wrote in the quote that ladybugs are to aphids as wolves are to sheep. Yeah. So you're like, dun-na, dun-na. But they're this big.
Which is even more apt, because aphids are farmed by ants.
By ants. I'm gonna write a book about it because I think that's so cute.
It's so awesome. My mom, we have some indoor plants in the kitchen, and we had an infestation of ants that kept trying to lead their aphids onto the plants.
Very cute, but get out of my house.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, this is not farmland for you. Go away.
I will plant you something beautiful outside if you just stay outside.
Yeah.
That actually segues nicely into the next question. What is your favorite flower?
So that's also a hard one.
Top five favorite flowers.
So one of my favorites is called the Queen of Night flower. It is a cactus flower that only blooms like for one night. And they're very beautiful.
I feel like I've seen them on like Blue Planet or Planet Earth.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
They bloom overnight, and bats actually are what pollinate them.
Yep, I saw
it. And moonflowers are beautiful too. Very pretty. Smell amazing. And then there's a type of plant. I actually have it in that painting back here. What's the name of them? Tillandus family. They're plants, so they actually don't need to be in soil. And they're very cool. And there's some that have this really bright, deep purple, like actual royal purple flower. It's very pretty, and the plants themselves are just really alien looking and really fun.
I'm throwing it up on the screen right now.
I'll send you the actual scientific name.
We'll put the name. I also put your painting that you've done, and maybe reference photo, because I just like looking at them. Your paintings are fun.
Oh, thanks.
Now in the deep dive that I did, looking through like your Instagram and seeing the things that you kind of go more towards, I noticed that you were taking pictures of a lot of the buildings when you were in Greece. Do you have a specific like inspiring type of architecture, either a building type, like one building, or like if you know movements of architecture?
So I really gravitate more towards older buildings. I really love abandoned buildings for some reason. Like, I'm like, there's something like sadly beautiful about them, and like there's the mystery of like, what was this like when people were living in it.
Yeah.
I really love Victorian architecture too, like just the amount of effort they put into making their buildings beautiful and ornate and winding staircases and all that kind of stuff.
All along the East Coast, when going into like those old buildings from, you know, the founding time, the founding era, and you're seeing like things carved out of one single log or something, and it's just gorgeous and ornate. I agree. I love those things.
It's very beautiful. There was a house when I was growing up in Indiana. It was so I kind of lived in the boonies a little bit. There was a town nearby, but it was like a tiny itty bitty town. It was a big deal when we got a Walmart kind of deal.
I've been to those kinds of towns.
And there was in the woods near my house, there was this old like log cabin thing that was just abandoned. It was just back there. And like, I so badly wanted to go explore it, but it was just far enough away that I couldn't sneak out and go to it. And of course, my parents were like, absolutely not. You cannot.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. And like every time we passed it though, I was like, is it still there? And I just watched it over the years slowly collapse in on itself. But
kind of a bummer, but also scary.
Yeah, it was like, I mean, there could have been all kinds of stuff in it. Not a good idea for me to go in there. But
I'm sure if it was bowing under pressure, there's probably all kinds of mold and or like mushrooms just like eating all of the wood.
Oh yeah, it wasn't a good place for a child to be, but I wanted to anyway.
Yeah, I probably would have too. Because it's like, when you're a kid, you're like, but that's where the fairies live. That's where like magic. It's like, it's not magic.
And adventure and pirate treasure. That's where all that is at.
Yes. You guys are just going to take that away from me? And they're like, no. You might hallucinate that there are fairies in there, but it's mushrooms.
There are no fairies in there, I promise.
Don't touch it. Don't touch anything. You're going to get tetanus. Fine.
I was it wouldn't have ended well.
I agree. I was very similar to that. And my parents would take me, or my dad would take me to where he worked, and he was in construction. So we were working out in the middle of nowhere in Colorado. He was driving across the state border to go work, and we were out in the middle of nowhere, and this house was beautiful, and it had, it was like a log cabin. So it had the things on the side all the way up. And I'm like, guess who can climb that? This girl. Bad idea. It was a dumb idea. Climbed up, didn't want to climb back down again, was stuck up there.
Yeah. Poor decisions were made.
This is not a good idea.
Yeah.
Who let the 12-year-old be here? Now whose fault is it, Dad?
She's Dad.
You know who I am.
Why did you do this?
All right. Next question is, who is your biggest influence? And it doesn't have to be art. It could be anything that is influential to you.
So, I mean, I don't think I can name any specific person.
Okay.
I find what I try to do is I try to find something inspirational out of pretty much everybody. I think everybody's got something to offer.
That's a good outlook to have. I like that.
Yeah. So like, you know, people, brilliant scientific minds like Stephen Hawking and Leonardo Da Vinci. I mean, he's also a big art person, but the science and the inventions and things he was thinking of before he even had the materials to make it. I mean, he was blueprints for helicopters. Like, what?
I mean, they're kind of weird looking helicopters, but I'd still fly in one for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they look awesome. But you know, you've got big people like that, and then you've got, of course, people in the art world. And oh gosh, what's her name? The big female artist who has the unibrow.
Oh, Frida Kahlo.
Frida Kahlo. She's awesome. I just love her unique style.
Man, being able to just sit and stare at one of her paintings for a long time, you just fall into it after a while because she puts so much detail.
There's so many things to look at. You can't you get lost in it. And then actually one of modern artists, one of my favorites actually is the husband of the lady who runs the Milan Art Institute, John Milan.
Okay.
His art is beautiful and intricate and just so fun and crazy. I mean, all the Milans are artists, and they're all very talented and inspirational in their own way. But John is so unique, and he as a person is so unique and interesting. So I find a lot
very cool.
He's very cool. And I mean, and then of course the sciences and things like that. Scientific illustration, if you have really looked at botanical or scientific illustration journals, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's so
I know
great.
they're trying to be technical, but like there's still a delicacy to how they're creating, especially botanicals.
I mean, botanical and scientific illustration is kind of what I try to base my drawing portion of my stuff on. So yeah.
I enjoy it.
I try to be inspired by a lot of things.
No, I think especially going a wide range, you're not preventing yourself from really being open to all of these different inspiration points. So I love that. And I think that is something to strive for in any one person's art process, I think. Just being open to it. So that's awesome.
Thank you.
Hey, speaking of, we're going to stop that and do animal trivia for a little bit. Speaking of all of the botanical and animal technical illustrations.
Yay!
We'll throw up some stuff too. Pictures all over the place.
Yay! There better be pictures everywhere.
It's going to go pop, 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 pop. I'm making more work for myself, but that's fine.
You're gonna have fun.
First question is, native to the coasts of the northern and eastern North Pacific Ocean, which marine mammal is the heaviest member of the weasel family?
Of the weasel family?
It's a weasel. But it's a marine mammal.
I'm trying to think of like what marine mammals would be weaselly.
I didn't know this.
This is news to me, whatever it is. Sea lions, maybe?
That is close.
Close.
It's actually sea otters.
Oh, okay. So in the furry family.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I'm like, I guess sea otters are weasels.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
It makes sense. It's just not something I didn't even think about that.
Well, it's just like large. I'm like, sea lions are kind of large.
They are thickness. But apparently, well, I guess sea lions.
They're more like seals.
They are more like seals, but that is interesting.
I wouldn't have guessed. Yeah, that makes sense though.
All right. Next question is, believed to grow as large as 60 feet or 18 meters if you live across the pond. What is the largest species of shark currently living in the ocean?
I feel like I knew this once, but I'm not entirely sure. I don't think it's the great white.
No. Bigger than the great white.
It's bigger. I don't think it's a nurse shark either. What is it? I used to know this. Why don't I remember?
60 feet. Man, 60 feet is huge.
That is big. That is really, really big.
I will give you a guess. I don't know if it's going to help. But the tip is, it's the largest fish you can catch in Animal Crossing. If anybody knows.
Oh gosh, I haven't played Animal Crossing in forever.
My husband just caught the fish that I'm speaking of, and so I was like, I didn't know that they put that in here, but okay, cool. But
gosh, okay, I give in. I don't remember.
It is a whale shark.
Okay, I should have remembered that. That's so like, okay.
See, my thing was, I didn't realize that a whale shark was actually a shark. I thought it was like neither a whale nor a shark, but they call it a whale shark because of other reasons. But I guess if it's got the same dorsal fin.
Yeah, there's a surprising number of shark species that are not all that aggressive.
They're not all that sharky.
Yeah, they're not all that shark-like, but
interesting.
Everybody is always like, sharks, oh, great whites, they're gonna eat everybody. It's like, no.
All right, let's see. Next question is.
I hope I get one of these right.
We'll go until we get some and then we'll edit some of them out.
Okay.
Which marine animal is the only known natural predator of the great white shark?
I don't know this either. I guess I'm shoddy on my ocean trivia.
I'm not trying to make it ocean trivia. It's just happening to be ocean trivia. I'm
happening. It's fine. The ocean has the most animals, so that makes sense.
I suppose.
Gosh.
It is a mammal.
Okay, it's a mammal. I would say orca whales, but I don't think that's correct.
That's correct.
Is it correct? Okay.
It is correct.
All right, I got it right.
You got it.
Orca whales are vicious.
They seem to not be like orcas and dolphins. You think they're super cute, but man, they're kind of dicks in the ocean, you guys.
Dolphins especially.
Especially dolphins.
Like they're smart enough to be gigantic a-holes.
All right, next question, it will be, all right, I'll do 2 more questions.
Okay.
So let's see if this rings any bells. Dazzle is a term used for a group of what type of animal?
A dazzle?
A dazzle of blank. I
Okay.
didn't know this until just now.
I know you can have a gaggle of geese. They've got a lot of weird names. You can have a murder of crows. I know
murder
that.
of crows or an unkindness of ravens.
Mm-hmm.
I just like knowing group names of animals. They're one of my favorite types of.
They're so strange. Although if you've ever heard a bunch of crows screaming at the same time,
doesn't sound great.
It does sound like someone's just getting murdered over on the side.
So thinking of this, dazzle, what do you think is like the most ostentatious of mammals?
A dazzle of peacocks?
That's actually called an ostentation of peacocks.
It is.
It
is. That makes sense. Gosh, what animals are dazzling? So many. May I have a hint, or was that the only hint?
Okay. So it is a mammal, and I think it is most known in Africa. I believe it is.
Africa. I'm gonna have to give in. I can't think of anything.
It is a zebra.
Oh.
I didn't know that it was a dazzle of zebras.
I would never have thought of a zebra. I don't know. I think dazzle, I think color.
You would think a dazzle.
A dazzle. That's
cool. That's pretty cute.
It's pretty cute.
All right, let's see. Oh, well then let's do this. What is the term for a group of kangaroos?
Oh, I don't know, hop abound. I
would love a hop, but I think that's actually a group of bunnies or a bound. It might be a bound. I know bunnies are also a hoppy, the name of it is a hoppy name.
Oh, that's so cute.
I would love that. I want a hop of bunnies.
I do. I'm not sure if I'd want the really tiny ones or like the gigantic rabbits. Have you seen them?
Yes, they're like the size of a torso, of a human torso. And they're just the fluffiest.
This is my 5-year-old child. There you go.
I would cuddle a fluffy bunny if it would let me, because I know sometimes bunnies are a little scared.
Well, yeah, it depends on the bunny, I imagine. But, I don't know. I also know kangaroos are really actually scary because they're so muscular.
Yeah, they're like, and then they can kick the entrails out of creatures.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they're brutal. Nature is brutal.
Nature is pretty brutal.
So brutal.
The term for a group of kangaroos, there's 3 separate terms that you can choose to use: a mob, a troop, or a court. A court of kangaroos.
A court.
A court.
I like a mob. That kind of
a mob. That seems pretty like
pretty on the nose.
They're gonna come up and fight you about it.
Gonna get you. I've seen one where it's all flexed up and it's just so ripped, and I'm like,
ripped for no reason. It's like, be chill.
I'm like, please don't hurt me. Please don't.
All right, one final question.
Okay.
It's a bird question.
Got one, so I'm happy.
You got one good question. One final question is, which bird has eyes that are larger than its brain?
Oh. Well, thinking, would that be an ostrich?
That is an ostrich.
Huh.
Yay! She got 2.
I did it.
Perfect.
I think they're like the bird with the largest eyes, and then
in general, their brain seems to be smaller than average.
I'm afraid so. They're not terribly bright, but that's okay. We love them.
Honestly, with legs like that, who needs brains?
Exactly. Nobody.
They can outrun you. They don't need to be particularly smart about it. They just know they need to be faster than you.
I need to go that way. Got it.
All right. We'll hop back to our interview questions. Ooh, this is something I wanted to know. Looking at your artwork, I'm noticing that you kind of go a bunch of different mediums, but what is your favorite? What has been your favorite to use since you started really creating?
My favorite, so it would probably be inks. Acrylic inks are amazing. I've started using fluid acrylics a little bit too. Experimenting with it with some of my friends' materials. So I need to get my own.
It's okay if your friends have it, then you at least
fine.
Give access.
But it's so freeing to just kind of let the inks flow around and do whatever they want and see what happens.
It is.
You don't have to think too hard about it. I
agree. Yeah, I have a whole drawer. My acrylic inks are like right there. I can touch them.
Yes, I have a huge drawer full of mostly my inks and then a few of my acrylic pens and stuff. And so nice.
I think the doctor, what's his name?
Can't
remember his name. Dr. P.H. Martin.
Yeah, I've got some from that, and then gosh, what is the other brand I have? I've got some Liquitex and some Daler Rowney like that.
Oh, me too. I think I have that same kind.
Yeah.
So the big FW on the front. Yeah.
Yeah.
The same thing.
Yeah. These are great for all the pearlescence and stuff.
I really like making with these. I feel a little what was I going to say? I feel kind of bad for using them as excessively as I use them, but I know like if it doesn't get used, then you're just wasting it. But then I feel like I have all of these acrylic paints right over there that I could use at least for the base and then just like shine it up around the edges. I don't need to use this whole bottle for something that's like huge.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but
I do it anyway. It really is.
For me, I usually cover my painting in spray paint first.
Oh.
and do some spray paint stuff.
Okay.
And I mean, that doesn't take me long. Spray paint so fast to dry too. And then I'll go over it with the ink stuff. So all the swirlies and like abstract stuff in the background.
Yeah.
The majority of that is my inks.
That's pretty cool.
So I know you can paint with it, you can be more controlled about it, but I'm just like, yay, colors.
But also live a little. You're doing great. I think that technique really works well for what you've done. Now, is that like the you had an entry back in March to the Milan Art contest? It was like a monthly contest. And there was like, it was really dark and had either a moth or a butterfly, and like it was very dark in the background. It almost looked nebulous.
Oh,
galaxies.
Yeah. My skyscape one. Yeah, I know.
Really liked. Oh, it is white plume moth. Was that mostly out of inks and acrylics?
So that one I did it a little bit differently than I normally would, because I'm trying to remember exactly how I did all of my steps. I think I still did it the same way I normally do. I started with spray paint. So kind of give myself a base of the colors transitioning from the sunset into the galaxy.
Yeah.
And then I did do my inks. And then I had to paint all those clouds and like get galaxy into that.
That's rad.
And what's funny about that is in that picture, it's not technically finished, because normally I put a layer of oils on every painting that I finish.
Oh.
To give it extra richness and depth and everything. And I just didn't have time before the end of the contest. So that is technically not finished. Technically
unfinished, but honestly, you could, and we'd probably love that too. But the way that you've left it was quite beautiful.
Thank you. It was a really fun piece to do, and I think it might inspire a series all by itself, because it is so different, but I'm
here for it.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
I love doing galaxies. I just haven't done them a lot.
I did a whole series of galaxies, and it's just the abstractness of it is very interesting, because you're still trying to make it look kind of like something, but you don't have to go off of a reference. You just, I want my thing to be teal, then it's going to be a teal nebula. Nobody's going to police my nebula.
It's not a realistic looking nebula.
It's like, actually, nope. No astrophysicists are going to tell me what's the deal, because this is a nebula from my brain and not from space.
It's like, it's the universe, and this could exist somewhere, and you don't know. You don't know that.
And if it doesn't exist in this universe, then I'm going to subscribe to the multiverse theory, and then everything that I think could absolutely be probable in that other place.
Exactly. There you go.
So there.
Yeah, galaxies are super fun. I always end up making them really colorful, but you can do a more muted one. The most fun thing is putting on stars, and I flick paint all over to do stuff like that. And all the colors.
Colors. I can't stop.
I have had to keep myself from making like rainbow paintings every time. I'm like, that's why I forced myself to put like neutral backgrounds. I'm like, it's okay. I can control myself.
Yes.
Naked color story.
If you know of the famous YouTuber Jenna Marbles, she calls it her too much gene. I am very much that same way. The too much gene just takes over, and you're like, okay, but what if I do this? But what if I also add that? I'm gonna also put.
What if I cover my whole canvas in copper metallic?
What if? Could happen. It could work.
Could happen. And I see other people do stuff like that, and it works for them, and I'm like, why can't I make it work for me?
I think you can make it work for you. You probably already did. Probably already did.
I'm still learning. It's fine.
All right. Ooh, next one is a deep one. This is one of my favorite questions to ask because first of all, I like recommendations anyways. And second of all, I think it informs the viewer of your favorites of things. So what is a book, a movie, and an album that you would always recommend?
Ooh, those are deep, kind of deep questions.
I'm also trying to I'm blurry. I'm just gonna be blurry for a little bit.
It's fine. The camera's just like, I don't believe that you're that far away. I don't believe it.
What if I'm over here? What if you don't know me? No,
what if you don't know? So I'm gonna sound like a giant nerd, but my favorite movies are Lord of the Rings.
Woo!
I think those are amazing. There's amazing plot, there's amazing setting. The actors in it are fabulous. The whole team that worked on that movie is fabulous. The source material is great. I mean, you really can't go wrong.
This just happens to be sitting next to me. No big deal.
And then a different movie for similar but different reasons. Princess Bride. Amazing movie. And I'm sorry, I'm going to list a third movie because favorite childhood movie, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Aw. Aw. Then yes.
That and Bedknobs and Broomsticks. Okay. I'm just gonna list all the movies I love. But book's a little harder, I feel like. I used to read all the time and I just don't read that much anymore. I write a lot more than I read these days. I guess if you want to read The Princess Bride, also amazing book.
Yes.
Fabulous book.
And I wish they would make that second book. I know it was kind of a joke to add the first chapter of the second book and then never do anything about it, but like I read that.
Like I wouldn't mind if you made another one.
If I can consume more of that information, I would.
I wouldn't mind, yeah. I also loved the Aragon books.
I've heard good things about the Aragon books.
Yeah. Don't watch the movie.
Don't need to watch the movie.
Don't even watch the movie. Don't.
If you need to see Jeremy Irons in something, you can watch anything else that Jeremy Irons has been in. You don't have to watch it.
Don't watch the movie.
You don't have to watch that.
Don't do it. Albums. I was an emo kid, so I listened to a lot of like Evanescence and stuff like that. Okay. I'd say my favorite artist right now, her name is Orla Gartland. And
Orla Gartland?
Orla Gartland. I can send you that name too. She's mostly based on YouTube and just, I don't know, really nice songs about, I don't know, just being awkward, I guess.
It's my favorite. That's my life.
One of her songs that runs through my head all the time, it's literally called Why Am I Like This? It's just, I don't know, she captures what it's like being an awkward human being so well and in such a beautiful way. And I love it. She's got kind of like this relaxed, almost 80s aesthetic about her. She's very cool. I like her a lot.
That is a good time. Mm-hmm. I just happened to go to her website and it looks like she made it look like a desktop background. And that's also delightful and fantastic. But I do want to move things around and you can't because they're buttons. They're not. It's not interactive.
Not actual desktop. Yeah. She's great. And then a lot of her friends on YouTube who are music artists are also great. So Tessa Violet, Dodie, other people. You know Tessa?
I do. Oh, it's weirdly enough, my husband was like, you should check this girl out, Tessa Violet. Like, and then he showed me like an onslaught of her music. And I'm like, yep, I'm a Tessa Violet fan now.
You'll probably like Orla Gartland then.
Fun.
Similar vibes, but different sound.
Okay.
So
that's exciting. I'm excited about that.
I also like, oh gosh, I just discovered them. They're called, I don't know how, but they found me.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
It's so good. Funnily enough, I discovered them on the plane ride across the ocean. And they were one of the songs I could play. And I started playing the album and I was like, I could listen to this for a couple hours. It's
for
fine.
The whole time that I'm flying. Yeah. I heard Choke on the radio and I was like, have we transported back to 2006? I mean, I'm here for it for sure.
But what?
But what? What's happening? And then I did research and found out that they used to be in Panic at the Disco.
Mm-hmm.
At least at one point. They weren't like the originals or anything, but they were in there for a little bit, and then they decided to go off and do their own thing. And I'm like, I'm glad you did that, because I will listen to your music forever.
Yeah,
it's at least for a while.
It's like a combination of like 80s pop and Panic at the Disco, and
very synthy and tongue-in-cheek lyrics. I am fully here for it.
Leave Me Alone is probably my favorite song.
Yes. When it comes on, I will turn it all, like, generally it happens when I'm in the car, and I'll just crank my music all the way up and then scream sing it all the way to home. It's my favorite.
Yeah. Journey also, I do that.
Oh, Journey.
Separate,
you guys.
Separate Ways is one of their best songs, and it's underrated, and you should listen to it.
Yes. Separate Ways. Everybody.
Wait.
Pause for like a second. Listen to that. 3 minutes, maybe 4. Come on back, and we'll finish.
We'll continue. Good song.
All right. Next is, what has been the most inspirational place you have found to be?
Well, I would actually, so 2. I can never pick one.
That's all right. You don't have to. I won't make you.
So the Grand Canyon is absolutely gorgeous.
Yes.
And it's so restful and peaceful.
Yes.
It's just so nice to be in. If you are a nature person at all, go to the Grand Canyon. Like, you don't have to be a hiking person. You don't have to be any of those other things. You can literally sit at the rim and just take it in. It's so gorgeous.
I agree. It is almost like it's not real because of its vastness. You can't comprehend that it's real.
It feels almost like you're looking out into a painting or something like that. Mm-hmm. You're like, that can't really look that way.
Yeah. How is that possible?
How is this? I don't know. And then I would say, again, because I just went to Greece. So my second favorite spot would be the beaches of Greece.
That seems, beaches in general, but I'm sure beaches of Greece are gorgeous.
The sand is so soft and so nice. Like, it's just really pleasant under your feet. And then the water itself is so clear. You can see down to the bottom, and it's all those beautiful teals and deep, rich blues. And every time of day, it looks a little different. And it's just, I have so many pictures of just the water from when I was there. I was bombarding my Instagram stories with all the pictures.
Oh, I was there. I was fully there for it, and I was living vicariously through you. Like, I want to go to there.
It's worth going to at least once.
I'm into it. Yes, if I have the capacity to go to across the ocean in any way, I'll try and go there.
Yeah, you should. You should. Recommend.
Highly recommend. All right. This is another one of my favorite questions to ask, is what is the best of advice you've found from an unlikely source?
From an unlikely source. Well, I feel like I get advice from everywhere. I guess the only one that's really coming to mind right now is Just Do It from Shia LaBeouf.
The Just Do It.
The Just Do It.
Yeah.
And I'm like, because it became such a joke and such a meme, but for me, who is a constant procrastinator all the time. I'm like, you know what? I need to just sometimes just put that on repeat and just listen to that.
And just do it.
Just do it. I mean, even things I want to do, I'm like, I'll do it later. I'm like, why am I doing this to myself?
Oh, he's going to be, I'm going to dance him across the bottom of the screen. Same. Just do it.
But yeah, it's probably the main one I can think of. But yeah,
that's a pretty, I mean, it's not like I'm not gonna get any advice from Shia LaBeouf, but that's not the first place that you would think of. So that's an unlikely source, I would think.
No, I wouldn't turn to him and be like, please share your
wisdom. What should I do? Well, then in the same vein, do you have any advice that you either like to give out to other people that isn't necessarily just do it?
Like for people in general or artists?
For artists, getting into art.
Okay, so for artists, I would say you really need to pay attention to what feels true to you. I think it's really tempting for us to either think we can make literally anything, or that we want to make the things that we enjoy taking in. I mean, I'll be honest, I never thought I would be a bug artist girl. That wasn't something that I went into thinking when I started learning how to make art. It was just something that kind of naturally bubbled out of me.
Yeah.
And you need to listen to that, because the art I like looking at is usually much more dramatic and it's much more intense, and it has all these other imagery that I don't use. But that's what's natural to them. That's my hug, because that's not me. You know, I can't provide that myself.
Yeah.
But, you know, I provide something for other people that they can't make themselves, right? So
I agree.
And don't feel ashamed of what you make. Like, just because it's not necessarily what you would buy, you're not making it to keep in your house. You're making it for the right person who's going to look at that and go, oh my gosh, I need that in my house.
That's true.
So you're not making it for you. The process is for you.
Yeah.
But the product is not you.
Yeah. The end result, you don't have to keep. You've had your time with it. You can give it away now.
Exactly. And that's also good. Don't be afraid of making bad art. Bad art is just part of the process. Just
a stepping stone to when you get good.
I guarantee you, if you are a professional or even a serious hobbyist, you are going to make something ugly at some point. I agree. You learn from it, you throw it away.
Yeah, you don't have to feel bad about it. It's just a thing you made, and then you move on.
Totally normal.
I agree. That's good. I like that. That's so poignant. I love that. A lot. How would you describe your artistic process in 10 words or less? You don't have to be, you don't have to make a whole thing.
I would say the actual process is orderly chaos.
Yeah.
So I have a very specific set of steps, but I do a lot of things. So, and I don't have a plan. I know some people love having a plan and having a planned out source and everything. And I'm very much like, I feel like this color story and I like this picture of this bug. Let's go.
Perfect.
So.
Well, I love that.
Yeah. Orderly chaos.
Orderly chaos. Fabulous.
Yeah.
Ooh, this one's out of left field, but I always love this one too. If you could bring back one artist from history, who would it be?
It probably would be Leonardo Da Vinci. I'd want to talk to him and pick his brain and just, I don't know, take in whatever lessons he can give me. Seems like, I don't know if I would like him, because I don't know what he was like as a human being.
He seemed like a prankster, maybe a little bit of a dick, but probably generally okay.
We all are to some degree. So I'm hopeful that I'd like him, but I mainly would just love to see that mastery at work.
To learn from him. That's pretty cool. You know what I just found out?
What?
Da Vinci is not his last name. It's the place that he came from. He's Leonardo of this place called Vinci.
Oh.
I'm kind of annoyed that I didn't know that of old Italian things.
Or if anybody knows.
I'm hopeful, you know, he was famous enough that he was like the Leonardo. I'm sure there was other Leonardos in Vinci, but he was that one.
He was the Leonardo. It'd be like, you know, Beyonce. You don't need to know her.
You don't need to know. She's Knowles, but you don't have to know that she's Knowles. No. She's the only Beyonce.
She's the Beyonce. The Prince. Everybody knows Prince.
Yeah. He's Prince. Duh.
He tried to go by a symbol for a while.
He had to. That's an interesting story, and I'll try and make it as super brief as possible. He was in a fight with whoever he was recording with, the production company or the recording label, and they owned him. And so he was the artist formerly known as Prince, and he went as the weird Egyptian looking symbol for a long time until he won the capability to be Prince again, which is crazy because Prince is not his stage name. That is his name for real.
Yeah, it's wild. It's like when you're a celebrity, who owns your name and your image?
Right. You got to get on copyright. You got to file a patent or something to be yourself in public and not have it owned, not have your butt owned by somebody. Yeah. It seems very sinister, but I don't know. I think ultimately they just want to be able to continue making money, and they're going to be potentially not so scrupulous about it.
Yeah. That's why I'd like to be well known and famous, but middle famous.
Yeah, middle.
I don't need to be Beyonce. I just I want to be able to talk to my people.
Right. It would be cool to be known for the things that we do, but I don't need somebody like hanging out outside my house, taking pictures of me when I leave, getting unflattering sides of like
taking pictures of me eating a bagel,
you don't need to catch me making a goofy face. I make plenty of those by myself on purpose.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Kitchen. Yeah.
Final question for the day is, would you say your art is an escape or a bridge to the rest of the world?
I guess I would describe it more like a bridge. So my whole motto is beauty in the unnoticed. So it's kind of why I'm drawn towards flowers that people don't necessarily know a lot about, or bugs, or little abstract details and things like that. I think people get so busy and so disconnected that they just look over things, like the little things to be happy and appreciate, and look out for the small happinesses of life. Yeah. And I try in some small way to bring people's attention back and kind of give them something restful to be in. So and connect back. So
well, that's just a lovely sentiment to end the interview on.
Thank you.
It's beautiful. We also like to give artists the platform to bring to light any social causes that you have. We'll put links down in the description if you have anything that you're championing right now, or anything that you want to bring attention to.
Right at the moment, there's nothing I can think of that I'm championing myself. I am making a lot of effort to educate myself on other people's movements.
Perfect.
I guess if there's anything, I would say support special needs people around you. There's no particular cause, because I feel like a lot of them aren't the best. So
we will find good ones. We'll put them in the description. I'll put links up here, down there, around hanging out
somewhere.
Yes.
But yeah, my brother's autistic, so that's kind of something near and dear to my heart. And whether you support a cause or you're just a little kinder to the strange kid in the corner, that'd be great.
Perfect. I love that. That's a great sentiment to go out on. We very much appreciate you hanging out with us today. Once again, this is Nicole. You can find her at Nicole Powell, spelled POWELL.ART on Instagram. Do you have anything else? It's NicolePowell.art.
I have a website. It's NicolePowell.art.
Yes.
Or NicolePowellArt.com, whichever one you want to
it'll all get you to the right place.
Yep.
Perfect. We'll put links to that also in the description. You can find her all over that and on her Instagram. Once again, Nicole, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Rachel. I enjoyed being here.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.